some point of time in myself, like saturation comes in me. For example, I am solving question, but I am just solving in some platform and I'm not building myself anything. Like कुछ खुद से कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ, जो भी मतलब ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ रहा है सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है, होगा तो होगा, नहीं होगा तो नहीं होगा, मतलब ऐसा एक मतलब सैचुरेटेड हो रहा था. So then, like I initially thought that I will do CP and all those stuff, but then I moved to development because in development you can explore a lot of things. If you are bored in web development, go to AI and blockchain. There's lot of scopes, and to be honest, एक बार once you are qualified in the company, no one in the company will ask you to invert a binary tree.
So today in this episode, we are going to discuss on the open source, how we can do it, how we can start it, and what skills are required for doing the open source contributions. So, brother, can you give you a brief introduction?
Yeah, so thanks for inviting me here. My name is Joydeep De. I am currently at SD1 at Optum. And to tell about my experience, I have won more than 10 plus hackathons. I have contributed to many open source organizations, and this year I am into Google Summer of Code 2024 under the organization Circuitverse. And apart from that, I have been a mentor as well as a teacher. I used to teach full stack development in PlaySuite. And along with that, I have been mentoring many students for DSA also. And yeah, that's all about my journey so far.
Okay, okay. So, as in this podcast, we are going to talk about open source contributions. So, tell me about little bit how many contributions you had done in in means in your career, or not a career, in your years of experience. How many years of experience you have in the open source?
Yeah, so to start with, like in the first year, like as I was very new, so as most of the beginners start with Hacktoberfest, so I started with Hacktoberfest, and then in the second year, there was some college organized some summer of code, winter of code kind of open source contributions. So I participated in that in second and uh, third year mostly, and after that I thought let's do something big. So then I in the previous year also I participated in GSOC Google Summer of Code. I contributed in Postman and IHR Internet Health Report, but somehow my proposal was not selected. Actually the project was not selected, so the proposal got rejected. But this year I contributed to Circuitverse, and yeah, so it got selected. And apart from that, I have also contributed to many other open source projects which are like not a part of any GSOC or any sort of programs.
Okay,
So that's all my contributions so far.
okay, okay. And tell me about specific project you had worked upon in Circuitverse.
Yeah, Circuitverse actually currently, if you go to the Circuitverse platform, you will see there is no such practice section. For example, if you go to, let me talk about LeetCode, CodeForce, CodeShare, you can go there and you can practice DSA. But for the people who are circuit enthusiasts, like who are from the electronics telecommunication background, they don't have any platform to practice digital logic design circuits. So currently, Circuitverse has the platform to implement the circuit and check it, but they don't have any platform to check whether their circuit made is correct or wrong. So my
Okay,
project is that implementing a interface, a question management system where there will be various sort of question. People can go there, practice those questions, can submit the answer, and it will auto verify the answer and will tell whether it is correct or not, whether it is partially correct or not, which cases are missing in there. So everything it will tell to the user. So in this way, like user will be also able to practice in the platform.
okay, okay, okay. And tell me little about okay, means, uh, हम कैसे open source start कर सकते हैं? Because I knew when means it was my personal experience when I started doing open source contributions at a GSOC. So I had means faced many of the problems like बहुत बड़ा code था, so I was unable to understand what's going on. Means हम code कहाँ करें, मेरे को वही नहीं समझ आ रहा था. So how you deal with this?
Yeah, first of all I would suggest like जो भी open source करना चाहते हैं I would suggest कि to start with always choose the organization or always choose the repo which uses the tech stack that you already know. क्योंकि तुम्हारे पास एक बड़ा सा कोड बेस है, also you don't know the language, so it becomes difficult for you to learn both, like you need to learn the code base also and you need to learn that language also. So for the beginner, I would suggest always to start with the repo that you already know. For example, you are good in JS, so go with some Marstack project, some Angular JS, Next.js projects. Lots of projects are there. So go to that projects and try to like there will be some. For example, let me give an example of React.js. In React.js, if you see everything starts from app.js. From app.js it goes to index.js. From index it goes to various components. So in this way, if you know a particular tech stack, you will know the pathway that a project follows. So in that way you will able to you need to go and see what are the things that project uses, and in that way you need to analyze. And moreover, in many, for example, in many repository you will also see their documentation is written,
Uh,
and also you can also reach to their voice channels, Slack channels. Many organizations have that, so you can always reach to them for the support. But yeah, for learning the code base you need to know the language. That is the first preference. If you don't know, then you need to learn parallelly. But for the beginners I would suggest to pick the project for the in the language that you already know, so that your only main motto becomes to learn the code base and nothing else. So that's my first suggestion to the beginners.
okay. So tell me कि आपकी जर्नी कैसे थी? Means do you start with doing uh, development or doing DSA? Because as you cracked the GSOC in circuit works, so I think means आपने development पे भी बहुत फोड़ा होगा, because it is not easy to uh, uh, get means GSOC में जाना थोड़ा difficult है, रहता है. So how you?
Yeah, to be honest, I am not a DSA guy. I am a dev guy. Like I used to do a
Okay.
lot of development from the first year only, and not only GSOC, I have cracked many national hackathons also. Like in December, I won Intel One API GenAI LLM Challenge, which was held all over India. So I stood like our team won the second prize and won one lakh cash prize. So I won many hackathons apart from GSOC. So then for the placement purpose I used to do DSA, that the DSA the skills that are required for the placement. Like I didn't deep dive into the DSA into that much level as required, like as the competitive programmers do, because I am a dev guy, so I deep dive into development more as compared to DSA. So yeah, that answers your question.
ओके ओके मीन्स जितना प्लेसमेंट्स और कोडिंग राउंड्स के लिए नेसेसरी है वो
And
सब
I used
आपने किया.
to.
ओके आपने तो मीन्स किया यार, पूरा किया डीएसए. मीन्स आई थिंक डीएसए तो आप ऑप्टिमन मीन्स कौन से कंपनी में हो आप अभी?
Optum.
ऑप्टम. उसमें थोड़ा उसके बारे में बताइए, मीन्स क्या है, मीन्स कैसे है?
Optum actually came to our college in the third year, so like we there was normal way round, like two DSA questions and some sort of MCQs. So I qualified for the OA, and there was only one interview because in the third year Optum came for internship. So in the
ओके.
internship there was only one interview round, and it was pretty good. They asked some basic question related to some modification of bubble sort, and one question related to Dijkstra algorithm, like some modification of that, and some normal DBMS and all OS question, not that difficult. So then I got selected on that round, and then I was offered the internship. And after that, I got pre-placement offer, so I was directly taken into that company from the internship. So yeah, that was my journey to Optum.
ओके ओके. So, haven't you tried competitive programming? Means आपने DS development ही किया from the first year, or you tried मैं थोड़ा कंप्यूटर प्रोग्रामिंग को भी करता हूँ थोड़ा सा.
Competitive programming I tried, but at the moment I feel like if you do, like, I am not judging any person, I am telling my opinion, I am not judging any person or anything. Like, I feel that if I do competitive programming regularly, at some point of time in myself, like, saturation comes in me. For example, I am solving question, but I am just solving in some platform and I'm not building myself anything. Like, कुछ खुद से कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ, जो भी मतलब ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ रहा है सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है, होगा तो होगा, नहीं होगा तो नहीं होगा, मतलब ऐसा एक, मतलब सैचुरेटेड हो रहा था. तो देन लाइक आई इनिशियली थॉट दैट आई विल डू सीपी एंड ऑल दो स्टफ, बट then I moved to development because in development you can explore a lot of things. If you are bored in web development, go to AI and blockchain. There's lot of scopes. And to be honest, एक बार once you are qualified in the company, no one in the company will ask you to invert a binary tree. In the company you need to do development task only DSA is, मतलब कंपनी में घुसने के लिए वो चाहिए, and sustain करने के लिए the thing that is required is development.
Okay, okay. That's good about you because as you said, DSA after going to company कोई पूछता नहीं. It is also right thing. You okay. So tell me कि आपने कौन से प्रॉब्लम फेस किए while doing open source contributions and how you resolved it.
ओपन सोर्स कंट्रीब्यूशन मेन प्रॉब्लम जो मैंने फेस किया था, वो है बिग कोड बेस इज द मेन प्रॉब्लम. So
हाँ,
big code base, and another main problem is code setup. Code setup in the local system, that is also one main problem. So code setup, how I solved is, for example, if you go to one repository, if the org admins of the repository are active, then you will see the installation, all those sort of docs in the README. So if you follow
yes,
that README, you will easily be able to set up. And even if you get doubts, then you can, I said, always reach to their Slack channels and everything. So in that way, you can do code setup and run. And another is the huge code base. So for the code base, I will suggest that if you, like, for example, just few minutes before I gave an example of React. For example, if you
yes,
know React, the first thing you will look at is the app.js file. Then you will go to index.js file. So if you know
yes,
React, you will know the flow in which the code is written. So if you go in that flow, you will easily understand the code. Yeah, it will take time, I agree, because since it's a huge code base, and
yes,
for example, if you see in the production level code, there are lots of files which are not even required. Like for example, in Docker file is
yes,
required, but that is not for development purpose. That is for deployment purpose. So there are many files. The It seems like the code base is very huge. Lot of files are there, but most of the file, for example, in for if you do any React application or Node.js application, you will see node modules is a huge file, like lot of files
yeah,
is there. So no one uses the node modules, it's just dependency, we just install and use the libraries. So in this way, like, even if the code repository seems huge, lot of files you will be seen unnecessary. Mostly you need to work for a feature. If you want to implement a feature, mostly you need to work on 3 or 4 files at max. So don't no need to afraid by seeing those long code repo, like I need to go through all the files and all, nothing. No need to do that. As I said, go through the flow. You will understand the code base, and after that, the mentors and all, like the admins of the organization, you can always reach through their communication channels, Slack,